Good morning, everyone. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Happy Monday. Such a pleasure to be here with everyone. This is an unusual class. Usually I do Fridays, so it's very exciting to be here. All right. So with that, if you haven't met me before, my name is Gabby Lucia. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I am currently based in South Florida, but I'm originally from the Netherlands. So if you can pick up on the accent, that's what that is. And let's see, we're going to get started with our class quote. Just make sure that you have a journal or a note-taking app at hand so that we can dive in together. And some of you, perhaps some OGs, might remember that a few years ago we had a class that was on making time for life. And today I thought that this theme of, the preciousness of time was really, really coming to mind, especially doing a Monday class. It's like, oh, wow, we have a whole blank canvas ahead of us. So what can we do with all the time that's available? I'm going to share the two quotes. You might recognize one of them, and then we will dive into exercises together. Morning, Annie. All right, so time is the currency through which we navigate the vast ocean of life's possibilities. It cannot be borrowed or bought, yet it is the world's most precious resource. Amazing. Second quote says, time, the beautiful and gentle reminder of our mortality, nudging us to make the most of every sunrise and sunset, every hello and goodbye, and every laughter and tear. So cute. I love it. I just think it's an amazing, succinct reminder of the beauty of time, just what it offers us in terms of endless possibilities and how we can really, really learn to cherish it, right? So before we dive into our main exercises, you guys already know, if you've been in class with me before, that I love doing a little internal landscape check and just seeing how everyone in the room is doing. So on a scale of 1 to 10, just check in with yourself for a moment and say, how rested are you feeling and how grateful are you feeling? So for example, I would say probably 7 out of 10 rested for me today and 9 out of 10 grateful. So just let us know in the chat. What's the first thing that comes to mind? How are you feeling in terms of rest, and how are you feeling in terms of gratitude? And I think that these are always valuable little indicators, because based on that, we can make some tweaks or changes in our schedule and say, okay, well, maybe I need to go to bed a little earlier today. Maybe I need to stop looking at screens around 8 p.m. Maybe I need to write a gratitude list. Maybe I need to go for a walk and remember all the blessings that I have, right? So it's just a non-judgmental little snapshot, internal landscape to see where we're at. Elizabeth says 6. Danica says rested 7 out of 10. Grateful 10 out of 10. Love it. Annie says rested 7 out of 10. Suzanne says 8 and 10. Cassie says 5 and 10. Annie says 9 and 10 out of grateful. Kimberly says 8 and 10. It looks like we're all pretty much in a similar range. So great. So, just take that and see if you want to make a little tweak this week, right? Or today, and see how you can take care of your needs better and how you can maybe be a little bit more intentional with boosting your positive expectations, right? And really looking at what we're grateful for already. Cindy says rested 4. Oh no, you got to go to bed early, girl. Try to get some rest tonight. We'll be praying for you. All right, so we are going to dive into the first exercise for today. So as the class quotes reflected, our time is very precious, and every week is a blank canvas that we get to design. Right now, we have the ability of designing the week ahead still, right? Hi, Madhu, welcome. No worries. So we're going to start with our first exercise, and this exercise says, what are the things that you are already looking forward to this week? What are the things that you are most looking forward to this week already? And if there aren't many things that you can think of, then this is a great opportunity for you to think of what do you want to add in to embellish your week? What do you want to add in right now while we're in class to embellish your week? So for example, things that I'm looking forward to most are going for a catch-up coffee date with my friend Sierra, celebrating my friend's birthday on a sunset boat ride, beach volleyball on Saturday, and then just quiet evenings throughout the week to journal with God. So think about what are those things for yourself that you're looking forward to the most. And we're going to take a couple of minutes here in silence so we can reflect. And if you would like to share in the chat, feel free to share in the chat. What are some of those things that you are looking forward to the most this week? Let us have a window into your week, into your life. We love sharing life with each other at Self-Care Society. So Danica says, let's see, Danica says, Bill is out of town until Thursday, so I look forward to present time with my daughters and doing fun things with them locally. Also, Danica, your baby girl all of a sudden is super blonde. Like, was that a natural thing? Like, I'm seeing your stories and I'm like, wow. I used to be super, super peroxide blonde as well when I was a baby, so I get it. Like, there's like an age at which like that happens. But I was like, wow, from one moment to another, I was like, she's blonde, so cute. Danica says, born with black hair and then turned blonde. It's so funny. Yeah. All right, Danica says, the warming Vegas weather, not too warm yet, and lots of time outdoors, time to just take care of the house, go through the garage and cook healthy meals. Amazing. Planting more seeds and seeing them sprout. Love that. Suzanne says, alone time on the plane tomorrow. Love alone time on the plane. Favorite time. Favorite downtime is on the plane when I'm disconnected. Wednesday to think and read. Great. Getting my hair done on Friday. Taking Friday's SES class with Kate, going for a walk, this weather warming up into the 80s this weekend. Love, love, love it. Alexandria says, back to routine after spring break. Softball, baseball seasons are starting. So fun. And coffee with a friend. Love that. Annie says, packing and planning fun outfits for a weekend away for a bachelorette trip. Awesome. Madhu says, doing 20K by Saturday, Monument Avenue, 10K plus 10K virtual, third year in a row doing this. Wow. Filling 200 pages testimony for work today. Amazing, Madhu. Cassie says, going to a garden sound bath on Wednesday. Lovely. Look how creative we all are. So many different varied experiences that everyone is sharing. I love that. I kind of want to play a little more sports now. Softball and baseball sounds really fun. All right, so let us know in the chat. What are those things that you're looking forward to the most this week, and see if maybe you want to add a couple. You can borrow ideas from other people as well. That's always fun. Sarah says, book club Tuesday night and prepping for a little road trip this weekend. Awesome. Amazing. Well, thank you guys all for sharing. We are going to dive into our next exercise, which is basically in order to further optimize this week, right? We were talking about time and how precious time is. Based on last week, if you were to take an inventory, what are things that you want to do more of and what are things that you want to do less of this week? So for example, I wrote, do more of, continue going for a 1 to 2 hour walk by the ocean every single day. I've just kind of like did 7 days in a row and I'm like, oh, I want to keep on doing this because the weather's like really, really nice right now over here. And I also want to do more of no sugar, no dessert, no chocolate for Lent. So it's been over 30 days of no sugar and I've had like zero brain fog, super low inflammation in the body. And it's just such an awesome, little habit to kick in this Lent. And then airplane mode for the evening and listening prayer before bed. Those are things that I want to do more of that I really enjoyed last week. Things that I want to do less of, scrolling. I'm not usually much of a scroller. I usually have like pretty good, just boundaries with social media. But for some reason, I think last week, maybe because Ultra was in Miami, you just feel like a little more frazzled because of all the people in the city. But yeah, so probably deleting Instagram off of my phone this week, and then less analyzing, maybe less controlling through structure and letting life break me out of my box, right? I don't know if there's any fellow lovers of structure. Sometimes we need to get out of our box and allow life to surprise us, So we are gonna take a couple of minutes here for everyone to just take a moment to reflect. What are some of the things that you want to do more of this week and some of the things you want to do less of based on what went well and what you wanted to improve last week? So we'll spend some time here. All right. You are writing. Keep writing. Danica says this slide seems to have had 2 songs. LOL. Sorry. No worries. It was a little fun double song moment there. So yeah, let us know in the chat what you want to do more of and what you want to do less of this week based on just maybe inventory of the past couple of weeks. What is something that's like, yes, I really, really want to continue doing this, and what's something of like, I think I need to cut back on this because it didn't serve me that well, right? So Danica says, more protein. I feel so much better and have a ton more energy. Yes, I second that. Time meandering in the garden, mindful movement, and strength training. Wonderful. Less clutter around the house. Donate stuff this week. Great idea. Less time indoors and less screen time. Wonderful. Amazing. Madhu says more of clearing, decluttering, organizing in small pockets of time, more time spending on journaling, less time in saying yes immediately at home or at work. Yeah, we can relate to that. Awesome. Sarah says more whole foods, less sugar, more intentionality, less randomness, more planning, less procrastination. Love it. Cindy says it was a duet. Yep. Amazing. So yeah, let us know, what are those things in your week that you're going to be doing more of? What are those that you're going to be doing less of? Annie says more heart moments and feeling, more nourishing meals, more belly laughs with my girls, and more time in the backyard. Amazing. Love that. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, feel free to share in the chat anything that you wrote down. It's always inspiring to read everyone else's answer. I love that less screen time seems to be a little bit of a trend. Yeah, hi Thea. Thea says more effort towards the things I can control and less zoning out and avoiding due to fear. Wonderful. Sherry says more gratitude, less stress. Love it. Simple and straightforward. So good. All right, so we are going to go into our next exercise. Basically, if you were to measure what a great week looks like for you, if you were to have just like a rubric of what a great week looks like for you, what variables would you want to measure for that great week? What would you want to include? So we're going to make a list of variables that you would reflect upon completing a great week or maybe a great day, right? So for example, weekly variables that you could rate on a scale of 1 to 10 might be self-care, right? We're here, so that's pretty good already. Outdoor time, exercise, protein intake. Maybe you would want to measure screen time on a scale of 1 to 10. Maybe you'd want to measure prayer intentionality or journaling. Maybe you'd want to measure fun as a variable. And then I was looking through one of our past classes, and I remember a couple of when we last did this exercise, I don't even know, maybe a year ago, some SCS members said measuring service, measuring boundaries, and measuring water intake. Super simple, really cool, very relatable, right? So what are some variables that you would put on your list if you were making just an evaluation of what a great week looks like for you? Would it be protein intake? Would it be water intake? Would it be fun, intentionality, boundaries, self-care, spontaneity, right? So let's see what variables we would want to write down for a great week. And we'll take maybe 2 or 3 minutes here. Hi, Noelle. So lovely to have you here. We all miss you. Love seeing your name on the screen. All right, everyone, feel free to share in the chat. What are some of those variables that you would use to measure a great week? Awesome. Oh. So Danica says time outdoors, prioritizing movement, time spent in the garden, protein intake, sleep quality for all, focused alone time, feelings of overwhelm or stress versus ease or peace. Love that. Progress on New Year goals, mindful spending. Amazing. Caitlin says reading, movement, community, romance, cooking, and journaling. Awesome. Cindy says great week variables would be play, progress, connection, and vitamins. Love that so much. That's great. Super simple. That reminds me, I need to take my vitamins. So thank you. So let us know in the chat, what are some of those variables for you that would help you measure a great week? Things that you could maybe measure on a scale of 1 to 10, or just things that you would want to keep front of mind. Noelle says laughs, hugs with loved ones, smiles shared. Yes, love that. Noelle, you've been on my mind lately because I've been spending a lot more time with a friend of mine who has the cutest corgi. So it makes me think of your pup. Your dogs. Love that. So yeah, feel free to share in the chat. What are some of those variables? Sarah says sleep, steps, and connections. Love that. Amazing. So while you're sharing, keep sharing the chat. And we're gonna share just the final exercise. But if you're still writing, keep writing. You know, we'd love to see your answers in the chat. Oh, look at that corgi, so cute. So last exercise, basically it's always helpful to cast a vision for the month that we have ahead, right? So we are gonna fill in the following blanks, and you can pick and choose the ones that you like. You can make up your own, whatever it is, but you can kind of see the theme here. So let me share this. Basically, we're gonna fill in the blanks. I would love that by the end of the month of April, I'd have the clarity to ... the determination to blank, the knowledge of blank, the wisdom to ... a newfound appreciation for blank, the belief in myself to ... the desire to blank, right? So we're just going to fill out these sentences. You can pick and choose the ones you want. You can pick the one that stands out the most to you if you just want to do one. But I would love that by the end of this month of April, I would have blank. So the examples that I wrote were, I would love that by the end of the month of April, I'd have the clarity to design a faith-based coaching program, the determination to reach more people who are feeling lost and broken in this world, the patience to not rush things. A good thing in the wrong season is not a good thing, right? The wisdom to cover my family in prayer and all their circumstances, a newfound appreciation for the increased responsibilities in life that are coming my way, and a sense of excitement and wonder for the rest of the year and what God might have planned, right? So if you were to fill in those blanks for what you would want by the end of April, what types of things would you share? What types of things would you fill in? So we'll spend a minute here filling those in. Feel free to pick your favorite ones and we'll go from there. you're still writing, keep writing. I didn't want to cut that song off. That's like my favorite song. Can we just use it for every exercise? I love it. Thank you, Danica. All right, so feel free to share in the chat. Feel free to raise your hand if you want to read on screen. You're always welcome to do so as well. Danica says, the clarity on how to take action on all the things I want to pursue right now while feeling ease and joy and also prioritizing self-care. Girl, yes. The determination to make a plan and stick to it as best as I can, and to make this plan something that takes into account the variables in life, like mothering young children, so that I set myself up for success. Amazing. Suzanne says, I have to hop for a meeting, but it's so lovely to be with you. Thank you for being with us, Suzanne. Have a great week too. Noelle says, the clarity to make a budget that supports our needs and wants, the determination to reach out to connections to get support with my resume and how to best highlight my skills, hashtag ChatGPT also, the patience to trust what's for me won't miss me, the wisdom to remember that things are always working out, a newfound appreciation for the small ways that spring reminds me that I too can bloom. I love that. Caitlin says, so happy to start my week with y'all. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you for being here. Awesome, awesome. Yes, so feel free, anyone, to share in the chat. But if you got to run, I know that it is already 10:01, at least here in Florida. But I love you guys. I hope that you enjoyed class today. I hope that you are feeling a little more boost in your joy, a little more of a pep in your step as you go out into the world today, that you just, are more intentional about what you want to spend your time on this week. And I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your week, and so nice to be here with you on a Monday for a change. Thank you, Madhu. Thank you, Danica. Thank you so much. Have an amazing week, guys. I hope that the weather's getting better where all of you are living. Love you too, Noelle. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Nicole. Bye, everyone. Mwah. Thank you, Sherry. Bye, everyone. Love you guys.